What's going on, guys? So, what I'm going to be doing here, other than turning this off and closing this down, going to be doing video slash audio test. So, right now, as blue screen goes, this is the raw audio from the S21, Samsung S21 Galaxy phone that I use as a camera phone to film all my things, whether that's live streams, reviews, vlogs, other things. I used to use my S21 Ultra, which is my personal phone. That caused some issues for obvious reasons, but I bought two other camera phones to use for multicam purposes during the podcast and like I said, for vlogging and whenever we shoot videos in the kitchen and stuff like that. But audio has been a problem. So if I have this on, basically you're hearing just how the thing detects my voice. And right now I'm on front-facing camera, so that means it's trying its best with the microphones that are facing this way, which are not the best, if I'm honest, but is the best way for me to be able to see what I'm doing. Now, using the Omni settings in like the Pro settings for video, it's kind of picking up all directional audio, and you can also have backward-facing or rear-facing audio just in the camera settings itself. Now, when I'm filming things like this, if I'm sitting here where I'm doing an out the box, whether I'm doing a video where I'm just addressing some stuff, or when I filmed a reaction video the other week, audio slash whatever wasn't that great, but that was actually recorded with my onboard sound system here directly into the computer, but I filmed the camera separately. But to try to figure out some of these audio issues, I purchased a microphone, not this one, but it is a USB or other type of audio microphone, and I usually have it attached to my review desk over there, and right now it's in the kitchen attached to the countertop. But for some reason, the last two videos that I'd done that are roughly an hour long, about 20 minutes into the video, the audio just completely cuts out. Now, the problem with that microphone is it has to be powered by the thing it's plugged into, that being the phone. So part of me wonders if it's drained the battery enough that it goes, hey, power loss detection, and it shuts off the thing that's drawing power. Could be part of the problem. I don't have an answer for that. But I have frustration from that. So what I have now is the thing that I'm going to try to use to fix this. Now, I've already recorded another video for this, and it is a set of wireless microphones from Fifine. It is the same brand that I use for the podcast. It's the same brand I already use for the other thing, and they're mostly affordable microphones. I like the quality. They basically try to copy other systems. Like, a lot of people at a glance think this is like a Shure SM7, and I'm like, no, not even close. It's like a quarter of the cost. Now, these were, I think, something like 60, 70 bucks on Amazon, and if you open it up, this is a charging base, and you can see here, lights are all blinking, let you know that they're good. It has lights across the front to indicate charging, and it does have the base itself, and it has a little clippy here. Got a little charging connection right there. You've got your A and B microphone volume, power button, your indicator lights there. Now I'm going to use this microphone, which, by the way, it has magnets and pins in there for charging purposes. So this one is now connected. You can see via the blue light, and you can see that that top light there is now connected. This one's still blinking because it wants it to exist, and it doesn't, unfortunately, currently exist. Now, here's the thing. This is not connected to anything. This is just operating in and of itself. Now, unlike, higher quality microphones that I've also looked at, this has no onboard recording. That would be awesome. This is just a transmitter and a receiver, and I do have the adapter here that will allow me to plug it into the phone right here. So that's what I'm going to do currently, and what I'm gonna do is play around with the settings and then listen back to them how things sound, because there's multiple volume levels. I'm going to try different locations, and I'm also going to try with or without the little fuzzy wind hair thing. So I'm going to do that. So first things first, going to pause this footage and switch to the other camera. Hi guys, me from the future. So what I'm about to do is react to the audio so that I can test it. So I can hear what you guys are hearing and react to it at the same time. That's gonna be a little bit weird. So I'm editing and watching the footage along with you guys. So I'm about to get to the point where where I'm at right now, actually, where the about to change the footage over so I can hear the audio differences, and then I'll be reacting to my own footage, and then my final conclusions will be at the end of this. So YouTube time travel within the same video. It's odd, I know. Okay, going full shaky cam here. So something I wanted to point out here on the base itself, it does have a clip, so if you have it set up a certain way, come on, focus. But the cool thing is that it's actually roughly the same dimensions as a cold shoe, as this is known. So you can have it attached directly to the thing. Now here's the part that kind of sucks, and I'm gonna have a hard time filming this. So I'm gonna do what I can with what I got here. So I've got a very bright light in my face here. So I'll turn this. So here's the thing. Here is my plug, and I've got the standard 3.5 mil and the USB-C. It comes with a multitude of adapters. Now, because of the way I have it plugged in here, the adapter is actually on the opposite side here. I'm going to turn this light out of the way. Well, I was going to. No, can't do that. Okay. So that means that I have to plug it in over here and then bring it around and down to the plug. And you can see it registered that I plugged it in. But what I don't like is the sheer amount of torque that's got on it, on either that end or that end. So I need to... Okay, so the adjustments for the audio are on this side, and I'm going to be working with the A. So I need to film this up close. So you can see here, I've got it on a different volume set, so I'm going to click it here. Now, that's on maximum volume, and then we're going to do the testing and see all the differences. Alright, so now what I'm about to do is hear the initial audio for the first time. Do I have enough room for that? Yes, okay. So it's a 10-minute video. I just wanted to make sure I was good. Alright. Okay, so jumping ahead here, so transition again. And once again, I'm going to go with pure raw audio. I'm not going to change anything. I'm not even adjusting my settings over here at all, so. Alright. Alright, so what we have now is maximum volume with the initial number A, primary thing. Now you see here, this is the exposed microphone end. Alright, so that's interesting that it was strong enough that even pointed away from me I could hear it. And so this is me talking with roughly that much space between me and the microphone. Now, I'll say that doing this like you would for a podcast sounds pretty clean. What I'm going to do is attach it to my shirt. The reason I wore a V-neck or a collared shirt here was so that I could have it. I am hearing the weird highs that I heard before, so that I could have it at a decent range, whereas if I had a normal t-shirt on with a much higher, tighter collar, it pushes the microphone kind of up into my neck. So I want to see roughly at this level, where am I going to end up? Hold on. So I kind of want, you're supposed to have it pointed at your mouth. So I'm going to go like that. So that is now away from my chin, about that far, roughly 2.5, 3 inches from my chin. So okay. We're going to do the testing at this level, pointed at my mouth. This is at maximum volume. And I'm not talking very loud. I'm talking in just a normal, casual voice level. Nothing too crazy. The thing is, it does definitely remove a lot of the noise, like totally. All right. Okay, so all I did, talking at the same volume level, I put it down to the minimum level of volume, just to see what the different settings are gonna sound like in the end result. So there's that. Just gonna talk, fake laughter, that kind of stuff. Let's just do a clap just to see how it picks up any extra noise, stuff like that. Okay, let's try the medium volume setting. All right, so the quiet volume setting wasn't terrible. Okay, so I'm gonna have to really listen back, but like the medium sounds okay, but I get a little bit of the sound that I don't want to hear. Low was fine, and I'm sure I can boost that volume, no problem. But I guess it's gonna come down to whether or not quieting the full volume or raising the lower volume is actually gonna be better off. So I'm at the point where I'm gonna add the little fuzzy guy. Okay, awkward kind of shot here, but so I've got the microphone off and clipped here, and you can see there how it's got a little thing in there. So what I'm going to do is we're going to take our little Scrubby-Doo friend here, and it's got a reverse version of that cutout on it. We're just going to stick it on there and hope for the best. Okay. Okay, and then we're going to lock it in. So now we've got our fuzzy little friend with the smiley face. I like the Fifine smiley face. And now we're going to see what that sounds like. Mind you, the audio we're capturing now is from the secondary camera with its normal thing. You can probably hear the fan blowing above me. So this will be my first time really hearing it with the little thingy on it. All right, guys. So, new test. We have the little fuzzy wind cap on there. The microphone is roughly that far from my face, like one would kind of do for a podcast or talking on a different type of video. And this is on the maximum volume setting. Again, we're just going to do the same test and just see how everything sounds. Now I'm going to go ahead and put it here on my shirt again so that we have an equal test. It's still the same 2.5 inches from my chin. We're going to see what it sounds like. The other thing I probably might do is change positions of it, and then go from there. But I think at least for a V-neck shirt like this, I think the maximum volume is too much. Shirt like this, I think that's pretty much the perfect spot to kind of set it. If you're going to be wearing like a jacket or something, obviously you want to clip to the lapels and stuff like that and aim towards the mouth. The old lapel mics that I had, they would just plug in directly to the phone and had a short cord, but then I also had a wireless connectivity one that really didn't work very well, but also with the fact that it was plugged into a functioning cell phone, on me for some reason. Any type of notification caused directly to the phone and had a short cord, but then I also had a wireless connectivity one that really didn't work very well. Okay, for some reason right there, all the bass and everything dropped out. I don't know what happened there. Also, with the fact that it was plugged into a functioning cell phone, any type of notification caused audio problems. Plus, I also didn't know where to put the actual lapel or lavalier settings. All right, so going to change the volume setting and go from there again. All right, volume setting again. Okay, so wind guy mounted to the shirt. lowest volume setting. Also, I want to move around a little bit. Lean over here, turn. It is shifting. I don't know what. You shouldn't hear any sound. One other thing is with the with our little friend here.
Yeah, pretty much no sound from the beard.
See if there's any beard noises, because obviously it's meant to stop any wind blowing into the microphone. Also, the one video I did do with these on for the whole video, I had like ridiculous, like high, crisp noise when I was talking. And I think that either that's a volume problem or perhaps it was the uncovered raw microphone problem. So we'll check out the medium volume. All right, last test basically of this medium volume with the wind sock on it, basically the little Guy Fieri thing. So once again, I'll just do beard test.
Nothing.
My only concern was I could see what looks to be like stuff on the inside that is pushing against the microphone. I'm sure it's designed to be that way, but it looks scary. I've never used something like this. Like I said, the only other mics I've used were really crappy plug-in lavaliers, which actually, ironically, would probably work with this if I just plugged it in. But then I'd have the cord running from there to my face, and that would be awkward. Now, the only thing that does suck about these compared to some of the other ones I was looking at, these have no ability to, like, say, use the receiver where I can clip it to my back pocket and then run a lavalier up my shirt and clip it on. These are just going to be raw dogging the actual sound directly into the receiver. Now, if I decide to upgrade to a different set that can do that, it'll be down the line. And that is roughly, if I remember correctly, like 5 times the cost with a big name brand. This is Fifine. It's not a huge brand. They are doing a lot. Podcast mics, these kind of things, um, just a bunch of different stuff. I'd say if you're remotely interested in the brand at all, based on these videos, go check out the Amazon links and stuff like that.
Alright, this should be the dual mic test.
Just for giggles, I've got the other one out here, and I've got it set to medium volume, same as I've got this one, and no fuzzy because that's in the kitchen. But I have not tried both microphones at the same time going into the same thing. Now, mind you, they're both aiming at my face, so this audio probably sounds doubled up and stupid.
Actually, it sounds kind of good.
The other thing that is interesting, because this is the exact same type of mount, if I was so keen, let me swivel over here. I don't know if it's visible because my own microphone's in the way. So this is another mic stand. I can also use that and aim it like that. So is there any way to mute? I guess, guess I'm going to turn it off. Okay, so now this microphone's turned off. It's only on that one. So just to see what having maybe a distance with some spatial sound.
That sounds like crap.
This is all a test. I have no idea what I'm doing. So all right, now turn that one off. Okay. All right. So there we go. And apparently, I guess if you have multiple sets, you could also like switch it up a little bit. Worst case scenario, I would buy 2 sets and then like have one for each phone, like because that way I could have separate video and audio setup. And considering that I've had issues in the past with the last major video we filmed like that, on my shirt is all out of whack. The last video we filmed like that, actually, because my microphone failed, we ended up using the raw audio off the secondary camera in the first place.
It
And if
keeps
it had had
doing
a
this.
decent microphone plugged into it, maybe that would have made a bit of a difference, but I don't know. So now the key is going to be importing all of this footage into my computer, going into the edit, and seeing what everything actually sounds like. But before we do that, I want to move the microphone to a different location and see if it sounds a little bit different. All right, so trying something totally different here. I've got my shirt buttoned up all the way and the mic aimed this way. Volume settings still in the middle. The way my shirt is riding up, it makes it look like I have like ridiculous traps, but I don't. I'm just wearing a collared shirt that's not fitting very well. Also, I need to take this microphone, put it back in the base, because otherwise it's going to keep.
Okay, it does not sound good aimed otherwise.
So there's that. Now, the other thing is, like I said, I think you can link multiple microphones up because there's a button for like connecting them. So I assume that that's how you would do that. I don't know. The only other option I can do, because I am wearing this type of shirt, I guess, is what I did in the video the other day. And I pinched the shirt, and because it does need to be pointed at my face, I did that. So same audio settings, all that other stuff, but now a little bit lower on the shirt, aimed more at my face, but more uncomfortable, if I'm going to be honest. Now, what would be nice is if the bases themselves had any kind of rotation, but they don't. So you're going to have to rely on clipping them on at a different angle by your own self, because the thing is, and it's going to sound weird, so you can see there, it does have little TTs inside it to help it clip into place. So either way, I'm going to go ahead and import the footage and go from there. Okay, so I think here's the thing I don't. All right, so there's also another setting I didn't check, and that was the mono versus stereo setting. I believe right now I'm on the mono settings because the M/S light is off. I think that means I'm on mono. So I'm going to push the button again. So this should be the stereo sound. Now, the other thing is there's a button on the side right here that's lit up. I don't know exactly what that button is. I don't know if that's mute or not mute. If that was mute and I was muted all this time, that'll be even funnier. So I'm going to push it again just to see what happens, because I'm not entirely certain. All right, and then let me, because I think there's two buttons on this side. What's the other one? Must be a link button. Oh yeah, that's what it is. It's a link button. So let me push this again. So that should turn off mono and stereo again, and then that's that. Now, I think the best setting, in my opinion, was probably the lowest setting. I think, without doing any audio correction. Now, I don't even know how I'm going to edit this video together, whether or not I'm going to put my reaction in the video itself, because I'm also editing the video while I'm watching the video that's being recorded that I'm doing this too. Confusing, I know. Now, the interesting surprise was that having two microphones going at the same time actually produced some interesting sound, but also the fact that just having this microphone out here and aimed at my face is actually pretty good. So, worst case scenario, I think something that we'll be able to do when we're filming, say, in the kitchen, is that we could have one of these mounted to a cold shoe on the phone aimed at us and pick up hopefully decent audio that way, and then the other one at a different position aimed at us as well, and get kind of a stereo sound from different angles, perhaps. That's something I'll have to play around with in the future. But as it goes right now, I mean, it's fine, I think, for what I need it to do. But the muting of wind noise is pretty impressive, if I'm honest. My only concern is distance from my mouth and what sounds good, because the other setting I didn't use. So right now I'm on medium volume setting, and basically clipping it like right up in here where it was on my other shirt, basically kind of up against my throat like this. I'm just going to test this last audio setting as it goes. Once again, not talking very loud. Now what I'm going to do is volume all the way up. See how loud that is. Just talking normal volume. And volume all the way down. Once again, this is with the thing basically resting almost up against my neck, which is not very comfortable, but we'll see what happens. Okay, so that's one last test in there. And I'm going to call it quits there because I don't exactly know how I'm going to do this video. I do believe I'm going to get an audio uh, to USB-C adapter that isn't as short and isn't as tense, because the biggest concern I have is that that wire is really kinked and like under a lot of tension at the particular angle it's at. I don't like that. Now, it's only if I'm filming this way, but if I had, say, a camera that had a proper 3.5 plug on it, then that would be a little bit different. So I think I just need to find the right plug in to make sure that it's still the like the 2-part jack, not the 3-part. I know things I've had to learn over the years about audio jacks that I didn't know were a thing. So either way, that's going to be the end of this out the box weird like tech review slash test thing. And I don't know, it's a new technology to me. I don't know much about it, but I do think that these little microphones are powerful enough. And I guess they have like 100-foot range or something like that, and like 6-7 hour battery. So that's pretty good. Now if I could just figure out what all the buttons do. Yes, there are instructions, but I suck at reading them. They're in the other room. I'll read them here when I'm done. But either way, I'll see you guys later.